Yo, what's up everybody, it's Vixen here with a crafting guide on how to make the best convoking wand for any minion build out there right now. That is all the Spectre builds, the Carrion Golem builds. It actually is the best wand for Carrion Golem builds, even better than 2 Cold Iron points, which it is going to cost a little bit of money for these compared to the 2 Cold Iron points, which are incredibly cheap. But if you're min-maxing your Carrion Golem build, this is the wand that you do want. Any skeleton build, the skeleton mages, the zombies, this is the wand that you want. So we're going to craft this today. I'm going to walk you guys through it in a crafting emulator so I can show you guys every single step of the way so that y'all can craft it yourself. It actually is very straightforward how to craft this wand. It does take a little bit of currency. We've done the math. It takes about 23.8 exalts on average to craft this wand, so not too bad. Like I said, it's very straightforward. It does require a little bit of harvest crafting, so you will need to, for example, maybe use the TFT Discord in order to get some harvest crafts, or do it yourself if you can find them. It'll just take a little bit longer, but it's actually very straightforward. So let's go ahead and walk you guys through it so you guys can get your wand yourself. As you can see here, a perfect wand. This is almost perfect. These are 2-tier rolls, is 100 exalts, right? Let's go ahead and look at the cheapest wand that you can get, 30 exalts. This is basically what you want here. You want the minions deal increased damage as well as the 5% chance to deal double damage. That's a more multiplier, so very, very good. And that's a fractured mod. And then you want the +1 to all spell skill gems and +1 to all minion skills. And lastly, you absolutely want the trigger socketed spell when you use a skill, so you can automate some of your spells in your wand. So that is the base item that we're crafting, and then you can do some extra things like get lucky and maybe have minions have increased attack speed on there as well. You could also have minion life on there, pretty good minion movement speed, a whole bunch of different stuff. Could be like some extra on the item that's more than the base item that we're trying to get. So like I said, 30 exalts to just buy this wand straight up, or you could spend probably about 24 exalts. You can even get lucky. Like on my wand, I spent 16 exalts on my wand, and I have a pretty good wand. So let's go craft this wand. First thing that you're going to want to do is actually buy a base, and there's tons of these bases out here. This is from people imprinting these bases, and they get this, and then as they are going and trying to create better ones, they sell their old copies basically. So 1.4x to start your wand. You absolutely need this to start your wand because we want this specifically. And then we're going to fracture this. So I'll show you guys how to fracture it to get this mod only, and then we'll craft it from there. So I will put the link to this trade search in the description of this video if you guys want to check that out. It'll link you directly to this page where you can purchase a wand like this for cheap. Definitely make sure you get one with a max roll already. So it's that minion steal 66% increased damage. It's pretty nice. It also comes with 3 white sockets already. And it doesn't matter if it has the prefixes or suffixes, get whatever you want for the cheapest. So we're going to go ahead and pretend that we just purchased this item. So let's go ahead and go back over to the crafting emulator. Now this thing is fantastic. Excuse me, if you guys don't know about Craft of Exile, if you guys are doing any type of crafting in Path of Exile, you should get familiar with Craft of Exile. It's a website that is absolutely fantastic. The calculator over here, it does so many different things. This might look intimidating at first, but you can basically plug in any item and you can figure out what the best way to craft those items are. And that's what we're going to be doing here. And on top of that, they recently added a new feature that is this emulator. So you can come in here and actually craft items for free. So you can get to know kind of first off how to craft it without actually spending currency. So you can test some things out. And you can also figure out how much it costs in order to do it. So pretty good. And it's got almost all of the options. I haven't figured out how to do one thing on here that we'll kind of skip around. But for the most part, we can absolutely craft that wand in this emulator, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. So again, we just pretended we purchased this item right here. I have it loaded in here, and if you guys don't know, I'll show you. Basically how to get that is you want to go over to prefixes, and it is in the incursion, right? So go down to incursion because it's a temple mod, and then it's this minion steal increased damage, and minions have a chance to deal double damage, and then you just select that and it crafts over here. So what we're going to do here is the first step, if you buy one that does not already have 2 stats on it, we're going to augment it. So we're going to grab this augment orb over here, and we're going to put it right here, and we're going to click. There you go. So we augmented it for cold damage, doesn't even matter what you get. And then we're also going to regal it. So we're going to take a regal orb, and we're going to regal it over here. Now there's two things that could happen here. We can either regal a prefix or a suffix. So let's go ahead and do it, and it will change based on, we actually want to regal a prefix. That would be the best case scenario. So let's do it and hope we get a prefix. We did, so we got a prefix. Fantastic. So it's actually easier. You save yourself an exalt. So we're gonna go over to, and I'll explain both ways that we can do this. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go over to the benchcraft. If you have two prefixes and one suffix, go to your benchcraft, and you're gonna craft any prefix on here. So we're gonna go over, it doesn't even matter. We're gonna just say maybe added blank to blank fire damage, right? We're gonna craft this, and this is in your bench, and we're gonna craft it. So as you can see, it kind of looks like the bench craft, right? So now we have 3 prefixes and 1 suffix on our item. We are now going to fracture this using harvest crafting. Sadly, I can't figure out how to fracture items with the harvest crafting. I can't find it in here. Maybe it's just me being dumb, but I don't know. I can't figure it out, but I'll still show you guys how to do it. So there is a harvest craft that is fracture an item, fracture the 3 prefixes of an item, okay? So you get to have a 33% chance of fracturing this mod. This is what you want. You want a minions deal increased damage and deal double damage, right? And we have 3 prefixes. So you have a 33% chance to fracture this one, and a 66% chance to fracture either this mod right here or this mod right here. So that's actually not too bad. And then on TFT, let's see, let's go check and see how much those cost. Let's type it in. You guys can't see it on the screen here, but I'll show you if I can find it. Fracture. Let's go ahead and bring down my Discord. All right, so I typed I'm in the TFT Discord right here, Forbidden Trove. Okay, that's where you purchase all the harvest crafts. And then up in the box up here, the search, I searched for fracture. So want to sell fracture. This guy is selling a fracture for the 1 of 5. So that is the second option. If you get a suffix on the regal, that's this. That's 35 chaos, but I'll go over in a second. But you probably wouldn't want to purchase from somebody that has a white name for this expensive item, but this one is a green name. So basically the way that works is the more color it has in their name, I guess, basically the higher trust value it is for that person. So like this guy is a green name, I would not mind doing a trade with him. This guy is even more green, I would not mind a trade with that. So this guy's fractures suffix, right? For 50C, that's actually not what we want. Let's keep going. Blah, blah, blah. We want a fracture prefix. Where are you? Fracture. So here's one. So fracture 1 in 5 mods. That's one of the ones we want. That's if you hit a suffix on your regal. Let's type fracture prefix. Let's see if that works. There you go. So here's perfect. So that one's pretty expensive. 3x. I would probably not buy that. Let's see if we can find one a little bit cheaper. 4x. Maybe these have just gone up in price. There's a 2.5x from somebody that's not as trusted, and you can still do these. For example, you can ask this guy to stream him doing it, so you can see that you can make sure that he actually has the craft in his crafting bench. You can ask him, say like, hey, show me the craft before you trade him any items. I would do that and make sure that he streams it. Here's one for 3.5x. Fracture prefix, so that's a 3x. So it looks like 3x is pretty standard right now. Fracture prefix 3x, fracture prefix 3x. Yep, so it looks like that's pretty standard. This guy's got a fracture from 5 mods, 50 chaos. Those are a little bit cheaper. The 50 chaos. Let's keep going. Fracture suffix, fracture random. Yep, so this is the one. The other one, this is 50 chaos. But you have a 1 in 5 chance of hitting, and I'll go over that one in a second. But this is the one that we're doing right now, right? So fracture prefix, that is if you get the prefix on the regal, 3x. So it looks like you're spending 3x, and you have a 33% chance of getting it. So roughly 9x on average to get that fractured. So you would do that craft either yourself or through the TFT Discord, and you would come in here and you would have a 33% chance. You spent 3 exalts per try to fracture this base. So roughly this base is going to cost you about 10x to get a fractured wand with minions deal this and then 5% chance to deal double damage. So pretty good. Let's actually go to trait. I'm curious here if we can do so. Minions have % chance to deal double damage. Let's type that in. Chance to deal. No. let's spell it correctly, chance to deal double damage. Let's go to fractured. So let's just see how much the base is if we wanted to get this. I think it's not going to be a magic, it's going to be a rare now. Okay, he's obviously not selling it for 1 chaos. So it looks like 14.5 exalt. So you definitely want to do it yourself. Definitely do it yourself. Because like I said, the average cost to create that using the prefix, if you regal a prefix, is 10 exalts, right? And that is 5 exalts roughly cheaper than just buying a wand with the fracture already on it. So definitely do it yourself. Okay, cool. So let's pretend that we did that and we didn't get a prefix. Okay, so let's actually, I think we can undo some steps here. Undo. Okay, so we're back to here, and I'm gonna just regal it until I get a suffix. Let's undo it again. Okay, so this is what you're gonna do if you get a suffix. Feels bad. We actually got a pretty good roll here, but it doesn't even matter because we don't care about that. We want to only get this mod right now. So we have a prefix and 2 suffixes. Here's what you do if you get a prefix and 2 suffixes. We are going to bench craft a suffix. So let's go find a random suffix we can do. It doesn't even matter. We can do cold resist, right? So we bench crafted a cold resist. So we now have 1 prefix and 3 suffixes. We have to exalt slam, sadly. So we're going to exalt. One thing that you can note here is that you can actually use June to the June missions to get a free exalt slam. I cannot remember, I apologize, I cannot remember which guy it is in Betrayal that gives you the exalt slam. Is it Leo? I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to check on that. But that's a free way of getting an exalt slam, or you just have to exalt here. So exalt, and the reason we're doing this is we need 5 mods on here. So there, and it will guaranteed be a prefix. Okay, so we now have 5 mods. 5 mods, and you spent 1x for that. Now that is when we go back to the Discord and we purchase a fractured 5 mods, right? So that's where I was showing you where those were like 50 chaos each. So now you have a 1 in 5 chance of doing that. So it's roughly about the same cost as the other one with the 3x, because you're gonna have to do more tries on this. Okay, so you have a 1 in 5 chance using that to do to get this fractured mod. So it's roughly about the same cost, about 10 exalts to get the base with this minions deal increased chance. Minions deal increased damage with the 5% chance to deal double damage. That is how you do it, regardless if you have a prefix on the augment or on the regal or a suffix on the regal. That's how you do it. Cool. So now let's say that we have fractured our minions deal increased damage and chance to deal double damage. Sadly, I cannot do that on here. I don't think that's an option. So what we're gonna do is actually just pretend. It's kind of gonna be lame here, but we're gonna pretend. And we're going to do the next step. So let's say that we have this minions deal increased damage, and it doesn't even matter what your other rolls are, right? It literally doesn't matter, because we are then going to do fossil crafting, okay? It's, again, I wish I could show you guys, but pretend that this is a fractured minions deal increased damage and chance to deal double damage. So you have that on there, and now we're going to fossil craft. Because it is fractured, even if you fossil craft, it will not remove that minions deal increased damage. It will not remove it because it is fractured, it is locked in, okay? So now we fossil craft. We're using a 4-socket resonator. So you can see this icon right here, it's the gold resonator. It's a 4-socket resonator. We're going to use shuddering, corroded, jagged, and metallic. And it's going to roughly take 12 tries on average to hit what we want. We want +1 to minion gems and +1 to all spell skills. Okay, so we're gonna just attempt it right here, and this is gonna go away when you do this. Just again, use your brain, use your imagination. Doesn't matter. We're just doing this. I'm showing you that it takes about roughly 12 tries to hit a +1. Okay, so let's go. 1, 2, 3, and we got it. We got it on 3. So this minions deal increased damage, that would actually normally be the fractured mod that you have. So it would be a fractured mod with the temple mod, and you would have +1 to level minion and +1 to spell. So we got lucky there. We only spent 3. We saved some currency. Great. So now what do you do once you've done this? Actually, this is a crazy wand. I would keep this. This is actually not bad. I would do, so good thing to note here, right? So you might accidentally just hit some good mods. And if you do, be on the lookout because you can do a couple different things. What I would do in this scenario, I actually hit the minions have some increased attack speed. It's not the best roll, it's only a tier 4, but that is still good. And that would either sell for, I don't know, 20 exalts or so. Not 20 exalts, it would probably sell for like maybe 32, 35, and I could either keep that myself or I could sell it and start the whole crafting process again and get what I want. So one of the issues though is obviously this has too many mods, right? We need that trigger socketed spell benchcraft. In order to do that, what you could do is have a 1 in 3 chance of removing this speed mod by using harvest crafting and annul speed. So you have a 1 in 3 chance of hitting this projectile speed. We do not want this projectile speed. That's worthless, and we need that suffix craft. So you could do this if you want. It just depends on how much currency you're willing to spend. I'm not sure. I feel a lot of stuff with the speed, like augment speed, remove add speed, is very expensive. I'm not sure how much remove speed is. I feel like it's probably expensive too. So maybe it's not worth it to you. So maybe if you don't want to do this, or maybe let's see even you got some random mods that are just terrible, right? Let's say you got 3 resistance mods over here and you don't want those at all. What you would do in that case is actually use a harvest craft again, but we're going to reforge keeping prefixes, okay? Reforge a rare item keeping prefixes. And these range from anywhere from 30 chaos to 50 chaos on that TFT Discord. So keep that in mind as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to use that reforge a rare item keeping prefixes because we want to keep that temple mod minion damage and the +1 level of all minion skills and the plus level of all spell skills. We want to keep those, but these suffixes do not matter. Those don't matter to us at all. So we're going to reforge key prefix. So we're going to do it until we get something that we like. We're going to do it, and we got mana regen. So that's not good. Or honestly, you could even just stop right there and you could craft the bench craft. Since we do have an open suffix, right? You could even just do the trigger socketed spell and you could be done right there if you wanted to be, because we had the open suffix. You could be done. And then you could even do something like we could harvest craft augment life or something and hope for minion life. Let's augment life. Oh no, I just did fire? Oopsies. Life. So we'll augment life. We got life gain on kill. Poop. So again, it's just kind of, you know, you're gaming it a little bit. You don't have to do these extra steps if you don't want. You could literally end right here and be done. Or you could do some extra stuff like life again. There we go. So I got life on this one. Minions have increased life. That is very good. That especially helps in like Spectre builds, right? Where your Spectres have less life than they used to in previous patches. That helps them survive a little bit more. So that's a pretty good wand right there. Or let's go back a couple steps, right? So let's keep doing the harvest craft that I mentioned earlier with the reforge keep prefixes. You could literally keep doing this until you get something good. So let's keep doing it until we get a good roll. So movement speed is not the best. I would keep rolling on that one. We got minion life here. Not too bad. So we got this is one of the things we're definitely looking for, but this is a really bad roll. Really bad roll. So we're gonna go ahead and lose that. So what do we get here? So okay, so this, I would keep this, okay? Here's what I would do in this scenario. I would remove, let's see here, remove lightning, okay? I would annul lightning. Where are you, lightning? And that's gonna remove the shock chance. There you go. And then now I would go to my bench craft and I would go to suffixes and the trigger socketed spell. Bam, I'm done. That's a pretty good wand. Trigger socketed spell, the accuracy really doesn't help that much because you already have 100% hit chance, but then you get that minions have increased attack speed. That's pretty solid. And then let's just say that we had rolled, let's keep doing it because I want to give you guys a couple of examples of what you could do. So let's do the undo, let's do undo it again, and then let's keep going back on this reforge, just so you guys can see like a whole bunch of different options of what you guys could do. So minions have elemental resistances, it's not that great. Keep rolling. Attack speed is obviously worthless. Accuracy, all res, worthless. And you can see it kind of takes a lot of these, right? You're not always going to get the best stuff. So here we go. This is not bad. This is not bad. This is another one of those ones where you get a 1 in 3 chance to remove this speed, right? But again, that's, you know, that's a little scary, right? Those are expensive to remove that speed, and you only have a 1 in 3 chance of getting it. I might not do that, right? Maybe if you had like a tier 1 attack speed roll, that would be pretty good. But if not, I would probably just, you know, reforge key prefixes. So keep going, keep going. We'll get a good one eventually. Movement speed, tier 1 movement speed. I mean, I guess. So I'll give you an example right here though, right? So we only hit 1 suffix. What you could do in this case is do, let's see here. What would we do? Let's say, you know what, let's actually, I want to keep going. Okay, here, this is actually perfect. This is what I wanted to do. Let's say you hit something like this, right? You could actually just stop right here. If you hit a 1 suffix modifier that you can remove. So we can remove this attack. So annul, attack, there you go. So now it's a super pretty item with just prefixes, right? Very, very good. What we would do in this case, if you had only this, is I would bench craft. Can have up to 3 crafted modifiers that cost 2 exalts in your bench. And then I would do the trigger socketed spells. And I would do minion increase attack speed, which is somewhere. Where are you? Here we go. Yep, there we go. And then you would want to obviously make sure that we get the tier 1 roll. You can either get that yourself if you have that craft yourself, or you can go again to the TFT Discord and have someone craft that for you. So there we go. Like, this is actually the wand that I have personally. I have this wand right here. Again, remember that this minions deal increased damage is actually the Temple Fractured mod. This is the one that I have right now, and it's amazing. I'm doing, I think it's, I'm up to like 82, 84 million DPS in my Spectre build with this wand right here. So that's a super simple way of getting this wand. You could also do, let's say in the very beginning, let's say you don't even want to mess with all this crafting with the harvest, you know, reforge key prefixes. Let's say you don't want to do any of that, right? Let's go all the way back. All the way back to like this, okay? Let's say this is the first roll that you hit. You just got this roll using your fossil crafting, right? You're doing your fossil crafting and you got +1 to level of minion, +1 to level of spell, and you're like, yay, I got it, fantastic. You can actually almost just be done right now. Here's how you would be done right now. You would go into your bench craft and you would do prefixes cannot be changed. You have to have an open suffix for this, okay? So if you don't have an open suffix, just try and remove it. So in this case, like let's say I had an extra suffix down here, I could remove this one right here for lightning tag. So I would do harvest crafting, remove lightning. So that's what I would do. But let's say that we are good. This is the roll that we got. We could stop right here by bench crafting. Prefixes cannot be changed. Let's add that. So we bench crafted this and then we scour it. We scour it. Pop. And then there you go, perfect item. And then that's when you pick back up with your bench craft, with your have multiple mods, the 3 mods, and then the trigger socketed spell, and then the cast speed and attack speed, and you're done. Super easy. Like if you guys don't want to mess with doing all of those harvest craftings, reforge prefix over and over and over, like I said, they're anywhere between 30 to 50 chaos. And again, you have to trust somebody in the TFT Discord that they're not going to jack your item, which by the way, I've used so much TFT Discord. I've never been scammed, not once. And the way you do that, I just want to make sure I mention this to people because I have trust in their Discord. I always trade with somebody that has a green name or above, and I always ask them to stream. So say, hey, can you stream? And they'll go into a channel. They'll say, hey, you know, join channel 15. You go in there and you watch their stream. The first question you ask them is, hey, can you show me the craft? They'll open their crafting bench and they show you that, yes, they do have that craft. And then you trade them their item. Doing that, I've never been scammed. I've done hundreds of crafts with TFT. So yeah, if you don't want to mess with that, with the reforge, you could just be done right here. It takes you 2 exalts to do this crafted mod right here, and then these are super cheap. This is like a couple chaos and a couple chaos, and you could be done right here. Like I said, that's what I did with my wand, and it cost me about 15 to 16 exalts, somewhere in there. Not too bad for an in-game wand. And if you want to go min-max, that is where you do the reforge key prefixes. You just keep going. Like there, this is perfect. This is pretty solid. Like I got minions have increased life, tier 1, and I got some movement speed, not bad. I would just remove lightning here. So I would go to harvest crafting, annul, remove lightning, done, and then I would go over to trigger socketed spell. Fantastic wand right there. What do you know? So it's random, right? You could spend 50 chaos and get a perfect one on the first one, or you could spend 30 and not get anything good. The best wand that you're looking for, let's see if we can go back here, let's go all the way to the most expensive ones, is something like this, right? 100 exalts, just so you guys know kind of like what to really aim for if you're trying to min-max. It would be a wand like this, but tier 1 rolls, right? Like a tier 1 attack speed roll, and then maybe a tier 2 or tier 1 life roll. That is a crazy wand, and using this method of crafting, that is how you get it. So that's basically it for this crafting tutorial on this wand. There will be more coming out for I think I'm going to do it for every single one of my items that I crafted for my Spectre build, so be on the lookout for those. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. I do tons of build guides all the time, at least 1 or 2 build guides a week, and I'm trying to do these little mini guides 1 or 2 times a week as well. I also stream on Twitch, that'll be linked below. And lastly, if you guys are interested in supporting the channel, check out my Patreon linked below. It's going to get you access to my sub-only Discord. We have tons and tons of people in there, over 100 members at this point, that are, super willing to, do build reviews. I'm always in there doing build reviews myself, and we just chat about builds all day long. And it's a pretty awesome community so far. So check that out if you're interested. That's all I got for this one, guys. I will catch y'all in the next one. Thanks, everyone. Adios.